So I have found some very disturbing information. This affects pretty much everybody on the planet. Now what I'm going to be discussing is cotton. BT cotton. BT stands for Bacillus thuringiensis. It's a bacterium. It's a bacteria that they have merged with the cotton plant to essentially then create a cotton plant that produces its own toxins against pests, insects, worms. This BT cotton should never be grown. I'm going to share with you some facts that I learned from Jeffrey Smith. He's a very renowned, known author and researcher on genetically modified organisms and the effects on our body and our environment. What I learned from him is absolutely, it's disgusting, and every person should know this. Alright, first thing I want to mention. In India, there were some sheep. And they were allowed to graze on the BT cotton after it was harvested. So they're essentially they're grazing on the cotton plant after the cotton has been harvested. And these sheep, after 5 to 7 days, 1 out of 4 of them died. Thousands of these sheep died. Some colleagues of Jeffrey Smith did a little study. They took 9 sheep and they fed 3 of the sheep genetically engineered Bollgard 1 cotton. They fed 3 sheep genetically engineered Bollgard 2 cotton, and they took the last remaining 3 sheep and they fed them normal non-genetically engineered cotton. The results showed that the 6 sheep that were fed the genetically engineered Bollgard 1 and 2 cotton plants showed a reduction in food intake. They had swelling lips, frothy salivation, nasal discharge, bulging of the head, slight fever, and between the 25th day and the 30th day, all 6 sheep that were fed the genetically engineered cotton died. However, the 3 sheep that were fed non-genetically engineered cotton were just fine and showed no symptoms. Jeffrey Smith visited a village in India named Andhra Pradesh, and for 7 or 8 years, the farmers had been allowing their buffalo to graze on cotton after it was harvested. However, for the first time, they had allowed their buffalo to graze on the BT cotton after harvest. These buffalo only grazed for one day. The next day, they were either unconscious or unable to move. The veterinarians could not revive them whatsoever. And after 3 days, all 13 buffalo died. They died from grazing on BT cotton plants. Something else Jeffrey Smith mentioned, that in October of 2008, hospital records in India, quote, show that victims of itching have increased massively this year, and all of them are related to BT cotton farming. Jeffrey Smith also noted from a pharmacy manager, quote, almost every cotton worker from this village suffers from itching. Not a day passes by without a few of them coming in to purchase medicines for that. Now, I'm going to put a video link in the sidebar of part 4 of a series on a lecture that Jeffrey Smith did. Now, in that part 4, he distinctly goes over these facts that I mentioned, and there's pictures, there's images of rashes. A picture of a man's back with rash from being, when you're picking the cotton and you get scratched by the plant. Now, what I want you to think about is that the statistics are that 88% of the cotton grown in the United States of America, the country I live in, 88% of it that's grown is BT cotton. So with all of this in mind, what's in your cotton? What are your underwear made of? What is your gauze made of? Women, I'm talking directly to you. What is in your sanitary products, your tampons, etc.? Now, for the women that do use tampons, an average woman uses 11,000 tampons in her life. The tampons that are on the shelves, they also have rayon, which has dioxins in it. Rayon is a synthetic fiber that is made by taking wood pulp and combining chemicals and yada yada. So that's a whole nother ball of wax, the rayon. This cotton, this BT cotton, which makes up 88% of what America produces in their cotton crops. This BT cotton produces its own toxins so much that it is obviously and clearly killing animals that graze on the plant. Now, if an animal grazing on a cotton plant keels over and dies, I'm not really going to be excited about that cotton being in a tampon in me, okay? A woman's vagina is a very absorbent part of our bodies. It absorbs, so it is essentially then, in my opinion, absorbing this bacteria, this toxin, Bacillus thuringiensis. Alright, so over in the sidebar, ladies, I'm going to put a link to a brand of organic, all cotton, no rayon, non-genetically engineered, non-GMO tampons and other sanitary items. Now, this Sparta Cat, she threw up a link for me, so thank you, darling, so much for it. It's called the Moon Cup. So you just might want to go check it out. And if you're not into the whole moon cup, you might want to consider it for survival purposes. It's something nice to have on hand. So be educated on all the products we are consuming, whether they are food or non-food items, because clearly BT cotton is affecting the animals and the farmers over there. So I don't want any of your BT cotton, Monsanto. No more.